G'day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Metal Cooler army and basically how good they are after their recent Extreme Z awakening. Now the Metal Cooler army is pretty good, I want to say. I think the EZA was pretty nice overall. I do think they could have made them a little bit better, like a little bit better, but I think overall they're pretty decent. 120% extreme class key plus 4 HP attack and defense, 120%. They raise attack and defense for 1 turn, cause colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lower defense on their 12 key. They raise defense for 1 turn and cause mega colossal damage to the enemy and raise extreme allies attack by 30% for 2 turns, which is pretty good on their 18 key. They'll recover 8% health, and they have attack and defense of 100% at the start of turn. They will raise attack and defense by up to 100%, the more HP remaining, the greater the stats boost. And artificial life forms category allies get key plus 3 and defense at 30%. They have a high chance of launching up to 2 additional attacks, each of which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack. So that's not that much. Like high chance is 50% and then the medium chance is 30%, so that's basically a 15% chance to launch a super attack if you think about it, which isn't that high. They have auto regeneration, shocking speed, nightmare, strongest clan in space, big bad bosses, fear and faith, and legendary power, which is a decent link set overall. And then on resurrected warriors, movie bosses, wicked bloodline, joined forces, artificial life forms, terrifying conquerors, target Goku revenge, corroded body and mind, and accelerated battle. So some decent categories. I think overall, looking at the units like versatility, the 120% extreme class lead skill, I still think this is a worthwhile unit to pick up. I'm not saying they're gonna rock your boat, but they're good. They are good. They're not bad in any way, shape or form. I just think they could have been a little bit better. We're going to be running them under a 200% lead of the Wicked Bloodlines team, and then we'll be running them under a Terrifying Conquerors team, which is a little bit lower of a lead, just to see how they do across the board. I think what they could have done with this unit, personally speaking, to make them better is key. If I can say one thing, having used them for a little bit, I think just key. Key is a problem. Yes, maybe their defense is a bit too low to really handle red zone. I think you need to get like 3 super attacks for their defense to be at the point where it can handle red zone. But the main thing for me is key. They really struggle to get their 18 key like a lot. They've got 3 key links, but not a lot of units share all 3 key links with them. And the units that do aren't necessarily like top tier, balls to the walls units. So for me, it's a little bit of a hindrance to the unit because their 18 key is actually really good and does augment the team a lot. Like a 30% attack boost for 2 turns is big. It's a huge boost, especially to a team that does such high damage, like the Terrifying Conquerors, like the Wicked Bloodlines. I just think, it's really a little bit of a hindrance. So I think key would have helped them. We made them feel a lot better. Their 12 key also doesn't do a lot of damage because of the multiplier. Like you're going to see here, their 12 key, I think is 2.7. Really nothing crazy. Decent, but nothing crazy. Defense also was pretty decent. 220% with 220k, which is around about good enough. Remember, they raised their defense by 30% on any given turn for 1 turn, which is decent. So they do help quite a bit from that perspective. If you look at them having 220k, that defense roughly goes up by another 65, the way it works out, a bit of the rounding and everything. And so that's 285, and they'll go up by another 65 and then another. So with 3 super attacks, they can hit that 400k threshold. But remember that these guys are level 10 links. This is 200% leader skill, and this is probably the best situation for them. So it is a little bit disconcerting. Now we got 5 links active with the physical LR Metal Cooler, which I think is great. I'm glad that they do link up very well, especially since Metal Cooler LR is technically a better first slot unit, and it's auto regeneration is a great link for both of them. That 5% damage reduction is really strong. They've got Big Bad Bosses, which is really crucial to their performance. And then they also have Nightmare, and they also have Strongest Clan in Space, which is really important. And then they obviously have Legendary Power, which is super duper helpful. Again, we didn't get their 18 key, but you could see that defense looking a lot better. 230,000, really nice when alongside physical Metal Cooler. Again, they also have that 5% damage reduction as well, and they'll be recovering 5% health from the auto regeneration link, and their 8% recovery at the start of turn, and Metal Cooler's recovery. It's a very strong healing rotation. Like, it's a very strong healing rotation. I think between them and physical Metal Cooler, that's what, if you're above 50% health, that's something like 30-40% health recovery every turn, which is pretty good. 40% of your health, half your health back, and if you're below 50%, even more, around 60% health back is a lot. It's a lot of healing, which is really good. They also give him a 30% defensive boost as a support and key, which is big for him. I think is super duper crucial for him. I just think they could have personally done with a little bit more. Maybe greatly raising defense on the 18 key, I think would have been a good call. Would have helped just push them a little bit further up that platform. Also would have, alongside solving their key issues, made their 18 key a lot more pivotal. And then you would have boosted the rest of the rotation. So then all of a sudden they look very sharp. I genuinely think greatly raising defense on just their 18 key and giving them like 3 key in the passive, not would have made them top tier, but I think those small changes would have made them a very runnable unit on like top tier Wicked Bloodlines teams. The thing is they don't get onto the top tier Wicked Bloodlines team, which is a shame for the amount of effort you have to go through to get them. They are a great replacement for a lot of units. They do bring a lot of stats to the table as well, and they are very strong. This unit's going to do a good job for a lot of players in that mid to almost high end game. It's just red zone where you're going to rely a lot on RNG. That's my only thing. Like with 3 supers, I do believe, and that's, someone can correct me in the comments, but I do believe with 3 supers, they should be able to tank relatively well type neutral attacks in red zone with 3 supers. The thing is getting 3 supers is quite a difficult exercise. It's not so easy. I would have liked them to make those small changes. And yeah, I think they could have also just made it launching 2 additional attacks, each with a medium chance. I think that also would have just been better. Those small changes there would have made them look very good. But for the most part, they still look pretty solid. I like what they bring. They bring healing, they bring support. They're fairly tanky after their super as well. And like I said, their 18 key does boost the rest of the team, which is not something that you can just, not value, so to say. Like, when a unit boosts for 2 turns, it is something that's quite valuable because it affects the rotation afterwards, which is pretty big when you're talking about some of the units on Terrifying Conquerors or on Wicked Bloodlines. Like some of these units, give them a 30% attack boost and Cooler's going a bit mental, which I think is fine. So here we should be able to get pretty good situation out of them. We're going to let Turles sit in the first slot. He doesn't do too much damage. And this is pretty much best scenario. We're also going to get their 18 key now. So we should be able to see finally a top end attack stat from them. The thing is you're going to be seeing the 12 key a lot more than the 18 key. It's just the way their key works. Unless you want to cater specifically to them with key links, I think that's just how it is. 4.9 million. fairly solid. Under a 200% lead, it's probably up to 5.5. I think you could push these guys to the 6 mark, depending on, a couple factors. But yeah, pretty decent showing from them. I do think they have been improved. Obviously, they've been improved from their EZA, but I don't think it was enough for me personally. Just looking at like their overall, like what they could have been, I think they were a bit scared of the link set. I think the link set, them potentially linking up with physical cooler, I think they were a bit alarmed that they might make too much of a tanky healing rotation, but I think you should never limit a unit because of that. But yeah, so link wise, obviously crucial links, big bad bosses is pretty huge. It's a big link, it's huge, especially when it's link level to 10. Strongest clan in space, also obviously a crucial key link, especially for the Wicked Bloodlines team. Auto regeneration is super nice when you can get it with physical metal cooler. It's probably one of my other favorite links. 5% health back and 5% damage reduction. People knock 5% damage reduction, but when these guys get to like the 380 mark after 2 supers, you're going to be wanting them to have that 5% damage reduction. It's going to take the edge off of some of those 400k supers. And all of a sudden they're going to be looking like they tank pretty decently. Shocking speed is 2 key and 5% defense. Nightmare is a bit of an attack link, but realistically, if you can get big bad bosses, and if you can get one of their key links, whether that's shocking speed, strongest clan in space, or fear and faith, then you should be fine. If you can get 2 key links, that would be preferable so that you can get the 18 key, and if you can get all 3 key links, that obviously would be fantastic. I think for the most part there are plenty of Wicked Bloodlines options, but if we're talking top tier options, then physical LR metal cooler is probably your best top tier option. He shares 5 links. He only shares 1 key link, but shares a lot of the other crucial links that you want, especially from an offensive side of things. So yeah, I do think physical LR metal cooler is probably the best. You then get some interesting options like Janemba, who's got shocking speed and fear of faith and big bad bosses, which is pretty nice. You've got the AGL metal cooler as well, which is also pretty good. You've got Omega Shenron, you've got some Janemba units. There are decent linking options. It's just, I think personally, obviously you want that auto regeneration. I know it sounds weird, but I really value that link over a bit of key. Just from a defensive point of view, because there's no difference between getting his 18 key and his 12 key, except for the boost for the rest of the rotation. And yes, the key helps, but auto regeneration, the healing and the damage reduction for me means more, but to each their own. But yeah, overall pretty cool unit. I like the EZA. I think it could have been slightly better, but let me know what you think. And yeah, bye.